The Narrator by Byron Broussard. They thought that would work, as if a narrator is bound to time and conversation. They thought that would work, as if a narrator is bound to time and conversation, like I couldn't just bust in and talk about the smell of the breeze for 20 lines. Where are the other versions of you that you mentioned? Brandon looked around the Waffle House like a lost child in an overgrown sweater. Overgrown is a fun word, but I am not quite sure if it only applies to things that were grown. Here I am, the villain, I said to them somehow, out of the tower and audible for however long it makes sense to be. They did not seem pleased by the lapse in judgment that led to a reintroduction of the physical manifestation of the villain. Why is this happening? Brian asked himself aloud. He was mostly asking Brandon, but I thought it would be fun to say he asked himself. He did kind of ask me. So you are telling me that a story version of yourself that you are writing currently is the villain of now? Brandon asked, not knowing how simple-minded his friend from the top of the tower was. Is the sky blue? They had come to asking and answering questions again. It seems to happen when you have no real things to say. Let's go back to the tower. Indeed. I was so ready for them to make a decision that I did not feel the need to interrupt that little bit of conversation. Now I have license to set the scene and time. Maybe we even say a little time has passed. Brian slammed 3 fingers on the backspace button. He held them down for 6 long seconds, erasing paragraph after paragraph. It was shit. He knew it was shit. Everyone knows it was shit. It sounded like this. It was one of those summer days when the calendar with a thermometer next to the thermostat reads, too hot to handle. Brian was waking up to the smell of roasted duck and peacock flowers. The smells mixed and danced a forbidden dance that made Brian sneeze. Next to the bunk bed was a stick with fire attached. It burned brightly in the stone room. Brian climbed the stairs to the outside roof of the tower and greeted the void. Hello, neighbor. Hello, neighbor back. This was turning out to be a plumb right day. Didn't matter that Brian was in a stone room with a fire stick and a thermostat. Maybe the fire stick was an Amazon application that went with the television and computer. The bunk bed is fine for an adult. Did we even get to ages? Couldn't delete enough, could you? That was pretty painful to believe in. We should know that the grass is green. We should know that the knot is tight. I suggested we come to the tower because I could see we needed a suggestion. Hello, neighbor. What if you delete the story? Brandon asked. What a ridiculous question. How would we even have got this far if that was the solution? I can try, Brian said. He did not feel very reassured by this idea, but he was willing to make a fool of himself for the sake of doing. Then he slipped on a banana peel. It didn't work. Fly to the moon then, Brandon offered, in a sly tone that made me nervous. I'm nervous. Why did you say that in that way? I asked in the past. Oh, no reason. Just do it, he said to us. Brian looked at Brandon questioningly before slowly backing towards the door. He climbed the stairs to the outside roof of the tower and jumped. He did not even spot the moon once before jumping. Very leap before you look. Air passed through Brian's limbs as he fell upwards and upside down. I guess upside down is a relative term when you are already falling in a strange direction. It looked like he swam through a liquid with the ease of a bubble. Then he was on the moon. Good lad, Brandon said from inside the tower. He was eating chips with chocolate chips and chips of ice. His teeth were dirty. This villain really sucks, man. I just wanted to write a good story. Imagine being the person saying that. I am an amazing villain, author of Confusion, the narrator. You go nowhere unless I deem it fit. I think we can save the story if we keep doing things like going to the moon, Brian thought incorrectly. Can't save what you can't control, people. Let us watch this ship sink. The villain has had many chances to thwart us. I think we are dealing with an adversary that is non-threatening but still annoying, Brandon said to test the boundaries. But why would I need violence when I have confusion?